Hello and welcome. Thank you so much for your time today. I am very grateful for your time. In this lecture, you will learn about an inner join. You learn what is an inner join. You will also learn how to create an inner join. Inner join is used to select the rows or records from tables where the participating tables involved in the joins have identical columns. So for an inner join to work, the participating tables must have columns that are identical. So if you've got a column in one table called Joe Blogs, it must also exist in another tables. So you must have two tables called the same names. I've got my SQL Server Management Studio open, which is this tool here. And this is the query window where I have already written a T-SQL query to illustrate how an inner join works. So we select the product name from the product table, this name here from the product table. Notice I have given the product table an alias name of P. The alias name is always defined in the from field. So this product table belongs to the production schema. I've given it an alias, hence I've selected it here in the column name. So I've selected the name column from the product table. So this is his name and this is the table, comma, and then I've also selected a product review ID column from the product review table. So the product review table is defined in the inner join command here. And then I have combined the product table with the comments and product review ID from the product review table. So the columns that will be displayed when I execute this query will be three columns. The first column will come from the product table. The other two columns will come from the product review table. So we will get the product review ID and comments, which are columns that belongs to the product review table. So we have got the two tables we want to participate in this inner join here. The inner join is defined on line 6. So the table we've already specified the first table, which is the product table here. So we've also specified another table in line 6, which is the product review table. We've given it an alias of PR. That's the table that will be the second table in the inner join. So on line 7 here, we've got on. This on here is used to define which columns the inner join will be performed on. So we're going to remember that for an inner join to work, the two tables must have columns that match. So the product ID column from the product table and the product ID column from the product review table. So these two columns are matching. So there's a relationship between the two tables. Let's have a quick look at the table. So this is my database, and this is the AdventureWorks database, which is this here. Let's scroll down to the tables. This is the first table, which is the product table. This table here, the first table that has been defined. Notice it belongs to the production schema, which is this schema here. And it has a product ID column, which also is the primary key for this table. So it's this column here is the primary key. And then let's look at the product review table. So this is a product review table. The product review table has also got the product ID table. However, the product ID table is a foreign key in this table, but is a primary key in the product table. So there's a relationship between the two tables. The product ID here is what is used to establish the relationship between both tables that are participating in this inner join. So we've got our tables for the join, we've got the columns we need from the tables, and we've also got the matching columns we need for this inner join to work. Notice the inner join is defined on line 6 here, and on line 7 defines the matching columns. Product ID from the product table, product ID from the product review table. Line 1 here just specifies the database to use to execute this query here. Notice when you open up the SQL Server, this SQL Server Management Studio, there is a database drop down here, and it defaults to the master database. So you have to use the drop down menu to select the database you want to run your query against. However, if you forget to do that, you can use this use command to identify the database you want to use, and the query will run against this database regardless of what is defined there. The go on line 2 is just a command. It's not a T-SQL command. It's just a command that this Management Studio understands. It signals the query to go ahead. Once the database has been identified, the go here just tell the query to progress. So line 3 selects the columns we want to output. So we want the query to output these 3 columns: the name from the product table, the product review ID from the product review table, and the comments also from the product review table. Line 5 is the from. It identifies the first table involved in the inner join, which is the product table. Line 6 is where we define the join, the inner join, and also include another table, which is the product review table, also from the production schema. We've given the product review table an alias, also a PR. On line 7 is where we identify the matching columns we want to participate in this inner join. So the matching columns are product ID, which is equals to the product ID of the product review table. All right, so notice we've used an operator here to match them. So we're saying we want the join to happen where the product ID from the product table will be equals to or matches the product ID from the product review table. We end the query with another go signal to signal the end of the query, and then we can execute the query. So to execute the query, we just click on execute, and this is the return. So this is the output from both tables. If you notice the 3 columns, the name, which is this name here, this is from the product table. Product review, which is from the product review table, and then comments also, which is from the product review table. So we have used an inner join to generate an output to retrieve data from 2 related tables. In this lecture, we learned what an inner join is. Also, we learned how to create an inner join. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much again for your time. Please do not hesitate to contact me if you have any questions. I'll be more than happy to help. Take care and all the best.